I figured there was a bunch of, I knew there was a bunch of bishops, and I figured, I didn't know there was going to be like an election. I figured that they would like choose one, but like it's straight up an election, know, like that's just like some funsies. It sounds like some funsies
to be the holiest, holiest of the holy
that God talks to, like literally that's what they say. Like God speaks to this nigga. Aaron is a shaman. I'm convinced. Like sent here to like just guide anyone that's like in a spiritual just like on the fence about any type of thing. He kind of has like the answer to get you through like that last part of it or whatever, like to get you to get yourself an anser, because like
you hit him up for like some advice and he just was able to like.
I didn't even hit him up. We when we were talking the other day, like everything, like it wasn't even like I was like on the fence about anything, but it would just be like certain things that I'd be thinking about in life and stuff, and and I would just look at him and he'd always have like every time he speaks, it's like an enlightened thought, like it's always like it's like food for thought. It's words of wisdom, like he's always trying to give you like not his biased opinion, he's like the way like the universe would see it or something like that, and I'm like, damn, bro, like you really are just like a kind soul sent here to like
of the universe.
Yeah, bro.
Shouts out Undefined one time.
Yeah, he fucking.
Shouts out Undefined. He got me these motherfucking cool ass Dragon Ball slides. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out. I feel like Goku in this bitch.
What was that?
I think that was a coin that could have possibly been in
one of
my
your
pockets, or something like that. But hey, that was a cool little intro.
Yeah,
Welcome back to Hindsight 2020. It's episode number
5. I got that one right.
That's crazy. Crazy that we're already here at episode number 5.
I know, dude.
Dude, we manifesting. We put in that grit in. We're choosing not to look at our past and regret it. We're choosing to use it as a tool and bring it into the hindsight. One time, we should come up with an intro at one day, like some catchy shit that we could read off in the beginning of every episode. That'd be dope.
I just remember, yeah. We'll get used to it.
We hope that you guys are still rocking with the topics and, commenting topics in our videos too, so we can talk about shit y'all are into as well. But yeah.
Are we jumping straight into Russ?
We can jump straight into Russ. Let me ask you a couple questions about Russ first, just to like see where you're at with him. Do you have any songs by him that you like?
Okay, so I don't know. I couldn't even tell you one Russ song, but that's just because I haven't taken the time to consciously listen to him. But I can tell you that when we listen to things like on Pandora and stuff like that, and Russ comes, I'll be like, "Wait, who is this?" And then Cassidy or like Abel will be like, "Russ," and I'll be like, "Oh, what? This is Russ for real?
Yeah,
for real? Okay." Like that's why I'm like, I don't even know why people. I thought he sounded, I was assuming a way different type of vibe from what I got from like the like the controversy I see online and stuff like that.
Of course. Yeah. No, I definitely think that he makes music mostly for ladies, kind of like Drake. So there's a lot of his songs that I don't fuck with just because I'd have to be in that mood to want to listen to it. But he has a couple hits like Pull the Trigger. Pull the Trigger is a hit. Have you heard that song? Pull the trigger, ain't nobody gonna do it for you.
I think so.
Probably heard that one, or What They Want.
Yeah, I know that one.
That one. Mm-hmm. He has that song right now that's smashing, Best on Earth.
Best on Earth?
Yeah, I don't know the melody of it, but that one's like on the charts right now. But yeah, what do you know about him as a person? Do you know anything about his come up, his career?
No, just kind of like, just things that you've told me here and there, but like nothing too concrete, to be honest. I know I know that he produces and does like maybe all of his engineering. I don't know.
Yeah.
See, like, that's like I said, it's not all concrete, but
that is the legend of Russ for sure.
Yeah, okay, that is really, really sick. So, and I think I saw something about like he was in like this studio basement, or like it was a basement type environment or something like that, like a studio that he lived at for a pretty long time till he blew up, and he was just kind of releasing a bunch like constant music all the time and putting out an album or something, like putting out albums every so often.
Yeah, he was on some crazy prolific shit. So I don't know dates and times per se, but I know that he dropped 11 albums before he went on 100 or 92 song run where he would put out one song every week. So he had 11 projects and then he started dropping one song every week. So his idea was, and this is where like I've taken this and I've really rocked with it in terms of how I'm trying to like do my own marketing and my own come up the next couple years. I'm trying to like use Russ as a model, but not completely bite everything that he did. So every week he was dropping a song, and the reason why is he said he'd drop his tape and he noticed that the first song, everyone would fuck with it. Everyone would listen to it. Everyone of the people he knows in his life would give that one song a chance. But then as you go down the mixtape,
relatable,
less and less songs get plays. So he's like, all right, well, I have all these quality songs on one tape, but only the first one's getting a listen. So I'm going to drop a one song album every week. And since he had the resources, him and his friend Bugis would be in the basement, and they taught themselves how to mix. They taught themselves how to master. They taught themselves how to record their own videos and edit their own videos, compose the music, write the lyrics, all that stuff. So that's why he'll always say, I record, mix, master, produce, record, mix, master, produce, and compose my records. He's like getting paid for all 5 of those things every time a song gets a stream on anything. ASCAP will pay him for all those things that normally 4 people would get paid for besides you as the artist. Mm-hmm. So his come up started with that, and then as a song would get plays, like he'll drop one, one will start getting plays, so he'll put a video out for that one, and then drop one, that one get plays, so he starts making more songs like those songs. And then 92 songs later, it was 2015 when he put out What They Want and a couple of those other songs, and in 2017 they started to go platinum.
How was he accumulating plays? Or like, who were his main listeners, followers?
I think that what he was doing was, when he was dropping those songs on SoundCloud, that's when SoundCloud as a tool was the most in its prime, where if you were consistently dropping music, engaging with people on SoundCloud, and probably going to local shows and doing open mics, that probably would have been the best time if you were someone consistent on SoundCloud. So as he was dropping the songs, it would go from like, okay, songs are getting 100 plays, now they're all getting 1,000 plays. Now, because I've dropped so many songs, everyone's going back and listening to my other catalog, so all these songs are getting plays. It said that on his TuneCore, one summer he was making like $300 a summer, and that very next year is when he started to make his first like $100,000 off that shit, and all independent.
Big difference.
All independent, but even making $300 a month would be some G shit, to be honest, because a lot of us are not making that kind of money.
For sure.
I think I got like $18 on TuneCore in the last 2 years.
If that, DistroKid maybe like 50.
But yeah, I made some notes. I just read the book, Get Out of Your Way. It's a book that Russ just put out. And it's kind of like the law of attraction for dummies, I would say. Because a lot of the principles in this book are shit that Russ probably just feels and knows to be true because he's made it happen in his life. But it's very reminiscent of like the Abraham and Esther Hicks, like Law of Attraction and The Power of Now and those types of books. But it's broken down in very layman's terms.
He's not like all scientific about it. And
hell no, like
it's a personal experience more.
Yeah, if you look at the pages and just like the way that he writes, it's very like straightforward. It's not very personal. Yeah.
Kind of easy. You said it was an easy read.
Very easy. It took me like 3 days to read it, like 20 minutes every day to be honest.
That's crazy.
And he uses it kind of like a tool book. So the different parts of the book are all based on, and I wrote this down, it'd be easier if I read it. So this is how he turned his life into a dream, using 3 tools: delusion, persistence, and gratitude. Delusion is having a delusional mind state that gives you the faith where there is none in your current reality. So if you're a person that believes you're a motherfucking star and you got this shit and the world should hear you, well, in the beginning, you got to be delusional because no one else can see it. You haven't put in the work. You haven't created the empire. You haven't done anything to believe that you're that person. So in the beginning, all of that has to come from you as a delusional person. And not saying that delusion is a bad thing, because like to get anywhere in life, you got to see it before it happens. Persistence is what provides you the strength to keep going despite the world having yet to embrace you. So something that he says in this book a lot, which is super cool, is that he always knew he was a star and he was just waiting for the rest of the world to catch up to what he already knew. And I think thinking of it that way, rather than thinking of yourself as an artist that needs the validity from other people commenting on their music, you're already losing when you're thinking like that.
Yeah.
If you're thinking, okay, let me know how I did, let me know if I'm dope, you know, give me feedback, tell me how I'm doing. Like if you're already that kind of person, the second one person comes around and says, oh, that was trash, bro, or like two people come around, oh, that was trash, bro, like you're already missing out on the millions of people that don't know you yet that are gonna agree that your sound is the shit. Mm-hmm. So if you just know that your sound is the shit and you just operate in that delusion, then you add the persistence, which enables you to get the consistency and the following, then gratitude comes in, which is his third ingredient, which allows room for appreciating the large and the small. Being thankful for help keeps you positive and attracts larger blessings your way. That's the way he breaks it down in the book. And I thought that was really cool because he said even when he was getting 100 plays every song on SoundCloud, he would just be super fucking thankful that 100 people were streaming him and not be like, where's my 1,000 at, you know? Even though, of course, that one party is always going to be like, where's my 1,000 at? But it's the gratitude that I feel like, me personally, I miss that shit a lot. I'm not like, I get into this bag where I'm like, dude, I'm doing all this shit. Shit's not working. And I'm like, I don't even remember to be thankful for the fact that, you know, I have a job and I have an amazing, beautiful girlfriend and all these other things in my life are going right. And just, you know, put that thankful energy out into the universe so that the universe responds to it and gives me more things to be thankful for, you know? What do you think about that so far?
I think it's pretty sick. I think it's cool that, you know, he said, like you said, he made his life a dream. So he really, like, I don't know if we were talking about it, but I think it was last podcast, but about setting up a plan and actually executing and like knowing that all these things are possible, and other people not really believing in you, or not even really not believing in you, but you thinking that these people don't believe in you because like of how their attitude is. But like, you know, some people really could believe in you, but not really like give you their 100%. Like, you know, just because they don't go to every single one of your shows doesn't mean they don't believe in you. You know, it's just it's just a mindset that you have that's like, damn, why isn't everybody coming to every single one of my shows every single time? You know, like, but the fact that you just stay persistent with it is just like, it's just like proof, or not proof, but just a reminder that shit does work. You know, like staying persistent and doing that.
Off the book for a second, I've listened to so many Russ interviews, I could tell you some other shit that he did. So another cool thing that set him apart from the, you know, the normal rapper that would, you know, be handing their mixtape out to another rapper or trying to get on from a popping artist or trying to get into knock on the door to a label. What Russ did was he researched what the most important thing about being independent was, and it's about touring. So he's like, all right, I'm not going to idolize the rappers anymore. I'm going to start idolizing the booking agents. And he figured out who was doing the booking for like the most popular artists, getting them their tours. So when he got his first manager, he like said some cocky shit to his managers like, yeah, if you want to work with me, you got to K.R. Lewis or like any of the booking agents that he talks about. Because he talks about K.R. Lewis, and there's one other woman that he talks about. I forget her name. But he told his manager, like, bet, if you want to work with me, get me this person to be my booking agent. And that person ended up fucking doing it, getting one of the best booking agents out there. So he started doing world tours where he'd go to Bulgaria and sell out like 1,000 seater, go to Romania and sell out like a 2,000 seater. You can go to Saudi and sell 3,000 tickets. So what he was able to do is start doing world tours where he would touch the fans directly. And it started out him doing like 30 packed like little tiny rooms in random corners of the world where he had, you know, his analytics to read on SoundCloud, you know? So he'd go to like, he said he went to a room in Germany where there's like 30 people, and then he'd see it grow to 50, and then he'd just keep going, and then it'd be 100 people. And now he has the ability to sell out Staples Center like by himself. And that's the thing he prides himself on, is to be able to do that shit solo, you know? No opener, no opener. I think that says everything that it needs to say.
That's what's up.
It's crazy. A little bit more on the book, though. I thought it was cool that he did the affirmation shit, you know, where you write shit down that you want to say and repeat to yourself. So these are a couple of his affirmations that kept him in his delusion. I have a platinum debut album. I'm the biggest artist in the world. I'm the most sought-out producer in the world. He wrote all those things down, and he would, like, tell himself that shit every day, which I relate to because I get in and out of, like, actually practicing my affirmations, but I think that's a cool thing to do. He had a you were saying that he was in the basement. He lived in a shop where people would come, and it was like a hip hop hub where he'd be down there like creating music, but he'd also have the opportunity to like go upstairs and like, you know, like talk to the local hip hop heads and all that shit. And one day Joey Badass was there, and he like got to like chill with Joey Badass, not show him his music or anything, but like he said that for him that was the change of pace that he needed to like be around someone of that, you know, respect as an MC. And this fool was just there chilling like a normal human being, like they were playing like hacky sack and like doing shit and just chopping it up about real life shit. And he said he didn't even try to approach him about music. He didn't try to like ask him how he did what he did. He just was like chilling with him like a normal human, and that gave him the drive to now like we're in 2020 and he just brought Joey Badass out at Madison Square Garden to perform Devastated. And he said in hindsight that shit was crazy to like be a huge fan of this fool and then bring him out to do his hot scene.
I bet he's from New York.
Russ, I think he reps Atlanta, but he's from Jersey and he's lived in lots of places.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know that. So,
but yeah, go get the book. Go get Out of Your Way. It's a really good, simple read. It focuses on the 3 parts: delusion, persistence, and gratitude. And every song, or every chapter is a title of one of his songs.
You just bought the book, or
Yamina got it for me for Hanukkah. Yeah, $25 in Canada.
And is that your introduction to Russ, or like did you? Yeah.
I started to watch all the Rap Radar podcasts of him and the different interviews and all that shit after she got me the book.
So what's up with all that controversy with him? Like, I have no idea what any of it is. I've seen a couple different, things online and stuff like that, but
so he wore a shirt. He wore a shirt at day and night. I don't know what the shirt said.
The shirt is literally like the reason.
The shirt is the spark. Shirt Russ wore at day and night. It's a big controversy too. It's caused them a lot of issues.
For sure. I know a lot. They can't work with some people he wants to work. I mean, that's just weeding out the fucking...
So the shirt says, how much Xans and lean do you have to do until you realize that you're a fucking loser?
Okay.
So he wore that shirt, and it pissed off a lot of people in the rap community. And then when he got on different places that wanted to interview him to talk about it, he pretty much, he didn't like apologize for wearing the shirt. People were really sensitive because Lil Peep had just died. And it wasn't a knock to Lil Peep. He says he was talking to all the kids in suburban like white neighborhoods that listen to rap music and get addicted to opioids and shit like that because they think it's cool. Reason. And so he was talking to those people, but people took it the wrong way, thought that he was targeting, people that really have problems, not people that create their own problems per se. And, not to say that I don't think anyone really should develop a lean habit, but I guess everyone has their reasons, or Xans or stuff. Like they're dealing with depression, they're dealing with whatever in their life that they can't escape, so they use the drugs to do it. But
I mean, sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's being around influences and only knowing that certain thing, and like, it's like you hang out with a certain group of homies that are older than you, and that's all you know is hanging out with them, and they're just sipping. It's like you're not consciously gonna be like, no, that's wrong, like you're gonna go with the pack, that's how a lot of things happen,
Dude, I mean,
the power of influence, really.
For sure,
both guilty of that one.
Dude, MLK skate park, fucking older heads would dip our like blunts in promethazine and lean, like
just say
that's just shit that they were doing,
and you're not gonna be like, no, I mean, like not even like you're thinking about it like that, you're just thinking about it like that's what the older hope, that's what the people that I look up to per se are doing.
But I think in our experience, though, when we were doing all that shit at the ages that we were doing it at, like, I remember I was, like, 13, 14, smoking weed, and all, like, the preppy kids at high school were, like, making fun of people at the park for doing that shit. Mm-hmm. And then come around senior year, like, they're all trying to pop ecstasy and smoke weed. So, like, we were always on that shit a lot earlier than other people were. And now it's, like, blown out of proportion where the same kids that were 14 saying that they don't, weed's bad. Now they're the ones like fucking sipping on lean and like popping Xans to go to their parties and like blacking out and hitting like crashing cars and killing people and like killing themselves and, you know, ODing and all this crazy shit, that there really is an epidemic in America right now for like the more affluent communities when it comes to that opioid shit. And I think he was talking about that. I don't think he was talking about people like us that were like in the hip hop culture, the skate culture, that like really grew up around that shit. I think he's talking about the people getting influenced by the music to do shit that is completely not their lifestyle and then getting fucked up on it.
I understand. It's just, that's just crazy. He knew what he was doing by wearing that shirt, you know, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, not saying he can make an excuse for it or those are excuses or anything like that, but like, when you wear something like that, you know it comes with like, you know
for sure.
comes with like what it comes with. So
that's a very flat out statement, and he's not wrong.
No, he's definitely not wrong.
But it is a very abrasive way to say it.
Okay, so then after that, who were some major? Do you know any major like powerhouses that like really were fucked with him after that?
He came on Everyday Struggle with Nadeska Academics and Joe Budden to try to explain that shit, and ended up getting into like a argument to the point where Nadeska didn't really want to fuck with him after that. So like just a lot of people in the hip hop media just stopped kind of like fucking with him.
Why? What was that argument? What
I don't know the specifics. I think that he was just really stubborn, and when he was trying to explain himself, it didn't come across correctly.
See, yeah, I think that's where that whole line is getting drawn about like where you could. I see where he's coming from, you know, like that is something that you can address, but then like I know, but I also see the line where people just get. Well, yeah, you know, they kind of want to take it out of proportion and like get mad, you know. So,
I know that people that support Lil Peep had an issue with him. I know that what the fuck, Young Bands, Adam 22, Young Bands made a song called "Fuck Russ." Damn. Not that Young Bands is relevant in comparison to Russ, but a lot of people were on that "Fuck Russ" wave to the point where like that was like a trending thing to be like posting #Fuck Russ on shit. And he does address it in some of his more recent interviews, but he was kind of like, I would say, you know, the part in his book about delusion where you have to be delusional and like see yourself as this person no matter what. I think that kind of was the reason why he was having problems communicating with people earlier on in his career to explain himself, even though he did have the right answer. Like, he's right. People doing that shit that are like literally the most unproductive version of themselves and destroying themselves, that's completely like not the wave. But the messaging and everything, like, he's so abrasive that he didn't give a fuck. Like, you know, I get where people didn't fuck with that shit. And I'd say he's a lot better at speaking to everybody now. I'd say you listen to his 2015, 2016 when he first got popping, and he was a lot more like straightforward, didn't give a fuck who's I don't know how to explain it. He didn't give a fuck who he was disrespecting.
But I also don't think he should be judged off of one shirt, you know, like his whole career and whole life, and like, you know, being just based off of him even calling out anyone. He could have said "fuck Lil Peep," like, no, you know, like, no offense, you know, but but that shouldn't have been like his whole, that, you know, that shouldn't base his career, because I know people that post shit on Twitter, you know, like there's other rappers that have posted crazy shit on Twitter, you know, like,
for sure.
Like, but like just because it was Russ or something, like, you know, he's like that's his whole career is based on that one shirt that he wore, you know,
course.
Like, so.
Or like the message that he was trying to get across was to be independent, to know what's up with music, to not be promoting the things that are like prevalent in hip hop right now, because people will literally take a picture with a bottle of Xans or like lean and post that shit on their social media, and that picture will get more likes than the song on their picture will get more likes than the amount of streams they get on their song, you know? So he was saying, you're sitting here saying you have addiction problems, depression problems, but here you are using it as an advertisement, and what kind of message are you sending to people? You know, like, if you really don't want people to do that shit, then you're talking about it in your music. You shouldn't be promoting it on your social media. You should be promoting real shit. Like, and that's where people started to think he was a dick, because he would drive home the idea, like, I produced, recorded, mixed and mastered, wrote all this shit. I think I said wrote twice. Whatever. The 5 things that he always says when he lists off the self-sufficiency, like, he just started driving that home in every interview and saying, this is what you should be promoting. You should be promoting that you can sell out this place without openers. You should be promoting that you can flex this because you've accomplished this, not posing with drugs in your pictures. And people, while that is the right message, people took that shit way, way wrong.
But then what about when he gets goons and himself to go fight other fools too? Doesn't that like kind of add on to the whole
the lore.
Yeah, or like, you know, it's just like, yeah, you don't do drugs, but go jump fools that talk shit on you. You know, like, I don't know. It's just.
I feel you. I feel like though in hip hop though, like if he wasn't doing that, then people would continue to talk about him.
Yeah, he'd be. I mean, but they're gonna still talk about him regardless. You know, but like, I feel you know he did stand his ground on for purpose. I'm just I'm playing the devil's advocate, being like like. That is cool that he did stand up for like people like about the drugs and everything, but then go back and then like fight niggas behind the scenes. It's kind of funny to me. It's just funny to me. Like it's just
or like having someone slap up Adam 22.
Yeah, exactly. It's just funny to me. It's just like, yeah, I guess do you, bro? Like you're fucking. If you got it like that, like I'd do the same shit. If niggas
Adam was talking about him crazy though on fucking YouTube.
Yeah,
and everyone else was too. So when he saw those people in person and they weren't on that same energy that they were, you know what I mean? I can't blame him for wanting to take action like that. I personally don't handle things that way, but that's because other people don't usually come at me with that type of energy. You know, people were coming at him crazy, hella disrespectful, talking mad shit about him, like tarnishing his fucking name. So at that point, that's a different type of energy, you know. It's not.
Imagine being that guy. Like you said, he was getting 100 plays, 500 plays. Wear that shirt, go to day and night, and now you're like the most talked about person in the world. You know, like that. Like, damn.
Or at least every time someone talks about you, they have to bring up the fact that you wore that shirt or you said that shit. You know what I mean?
He really bad if
the fact that we're talking about it 2 years later on a podcast, like crazy.
You know.
But yeah, Russ, I fuck with you. I think that you've helped me shape my mind in a whole new way on how to approach this shit. So
I'm gonna have to read that book just to get on game.
Dude, take it home with you.
For sure.
I'm gonna metaphorically give it to you right now, even though it doesn't matter. We can take it later.
Yeah.
But take that book home. Read that shit.
I'll leave it right there.
Yeah, he has like 5 interviews on the Rap Radar podcast. He's got Breakfast Clubs. He's got hella shit. I think he should start a podcast. Talk about how to come about from the gutter and do all this shit on your own. It's crazy.
He probably wants people to read his book first. Shit, you know,
$20 book. Imagine 1 million people buy that. 20 million off some shit you wrote.
Well, that's already what he's been making off of the music. You know, yeah. So he's reapplying it to books and see that's crazy. This all goes back to opening a new world whenever you do, something like that. Like, you know, he's open. Now he's an author, so now he has like that whole knowledge of publishing and writing another book or, being in that world. And he's an artist, so he has access to getting on songs with other people. And it's just like, yeah, your world just changes when you apply it, like when you open your world up to it, your world changes, like for sure. It's crazy.
I got that geek smell right now. I'm like, I can't, like the energy. Whew.
Yeah, you've been on a good one. My girlfriend corrected me because she watched the first podcast, and I said momentum when it was inertia. An object in movement stays in movement.
The law of inertia. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. Instead of I said momentum. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Hey, well, we are not science buffs.
That's why you guys are there. Exactly. Shit, I was telling, back to Aaron. Sorry to bring it back up. We love you, Aaron. My nigga. He opened my mind to thinking that everybody around you, all your friends, all your family, everyone that you associate with, even people you don't associate with, people you see, are just constant reminders of who you don't want to be or want to be, or or like want to shape in your life and like. What you can be doing to and like every time I say something to you take it with like a certain stride or like you hear it differently than like I hear myself saying it.
Yes.
So it's just like everybody around you is needed, necessary, even though like you could say we're all just one. Like it's all one consciousness or whatever. But like it's all just pieces of the puzzle. And like you're here to like teach me certain things about. What I kind of know, but like can't really put together or like can't like formulate because I don't see. I can only see it from an outside. I have to see it from an outside perspective to get it.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, that nigga opened my eye to it because when he was like, every time I would ask him something, he would have like this crazy insightful answer or give me like an author or like a book, that like explains what I was asking, and I'm always like, damn, fool, like you really have already just discovered all the you're already like way on top of this stuff. Well, like I gotta catch up. So
dude, Aaron's on that book game. That's why. Shouts out Undefined.
Yeah, but reading books, bro. Like I was just thinking about it when you were talking about something earlier, but I don't even think it was related to what I was thinking about. But it kind of sparked an idea. Like when I have or we might have been talking about kids or something. Yeah, I know.
Oh, when I was talking about my pig.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, I don't even know if I have a kid, like if I want to expose them to smartphones and tablets first before I expose them to books and get them ready, you know, but still, like, you know, you have that, they're going to have the access to it eventually. I can't, like, you know, control them and, like, be like, nah, technology's bad. But, like, I want them to, like, realize what reading is and, you know, like, what organic fucking learning is before they just fucking take a crazy supercomputer and stare at it all day, you know. It's just like, fuck. Because I know I'm barely starting to appreciate it, and I wasn't even born in the era of smartphones. You know, like we got them when we were in middle school and up, or like high school type shit.
Keep going. I'm gonna just change out
like,
the camera battery
for sure. Yeah. But I'm just starting to get a newfound appreciation for books because. Honestly, because of, like, not even because of Merkaba, but he, like, sparked that in me. Like, damn, like, books are really important. Because, like, you can look up Wikipedia shit all day. You can look up articles. But those are just things people post. Not that, like, books are stuff that people post, but, like, there's stuff in history books are just, like, things that people have written in history, you know, that, like, won't be changed because that's a book that's been out forever, you know, like, and you can go get a book that was written at this date. And it wasn't changed, you know, like it couldn't have been edited. They couldn't have like changed the webpage or like anything like that, you know. So that's just an appreciation for books and not staring at a pixelated screen all day and fucking up your eyes. Because I know my eyes are pretty fucked up from that thing. It might be from like staring at a phone all small, the screen and stuff like that. But I feel like the pixelation of the screens definitely has something to do with eyesight. You Gucci?
Yeah. I'm just making some room on the
memory card.
Making room on the memory card.
Making room on the memory card.
Making room on the memory card.
I want to, dude, that'd be sick to make just little jingles for commercials or something like that. You get paid bang.
Dude, you get paid bang for hella random shit, like making the sounds that go into movies and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You get money for
scoring a movie. That's what Rizzo was talking about.
But I kind of want to go back to that shit you were talking about with reading real quick, just because I had a thought and then I had to change the camera. Yeah, I like how casual we can do this podcast. I used to think that it have to be so like well thought out and produced, but in reality, like all it has to be is just us sitting here having like a conscious conversation or a flow, you know, which we're really good at. We like freestyle conversations.
Yep.
But yeah, back to the children shit. Like you were talking about how if you have a kid or like whatever, you want to make sure that they understand what the natural world or like books are before they get absorbed in technology. I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have right now is that people from the day that they're born have their entire world at their fingertips. Like any question that they want, they can.
Exactly.
What's 5 times 5? Oh, it's 25. Oh, what's what year was George Washington born? Oh, and it teaches them that they can get it like right then. But the way that life works isn't a right then. It's not a right then phenomenon. And like if that's what they're being taught with their phone, then that's what they're going to expect in the outer world. And it creates all sorts of problems, like when they go to a job and they think that, oh, I deserve to be president now. Or they go to school and like, give me my degree. I already know the information. Like, and it creates this sort of sense of entitlement or this lack of patience for the process of the world that things, like you were saying, things come in time. Things come with flow and with love and persistence. They don't come just because I want it now. And the phone is a real I want it now device. This comedian, me and Mina were listening to the other night, just dropped a special on Netflix. Forgot his name, some Asian American comedian. And he was saying that 50 years from now, we're going to look back on the phone era, like the iPhone era, and look at it how we look at cigarettes now. Because in the 60s and 70s, doctors would come out on Camel ads and say, my doctor smokes Camel. If you want to be healthy, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
for sure. Yeah.
how like smoking cigarettes is healthy, and like 50 years from now, we're gonna like be like, oh shit, you gave phones to kids? Oh
Right.
shit, you gave phones to like pregnant women so that they could research what they should and shouldn't be putting in their body from random fucking pseudoscience websites? Like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, you allowed like your kids to learn about the world based on the internet instead of being, you know what I mean? And there should be qualifications on being a motherfucking parent too. Like, not any random person should be able to just be a parent. Like, that,
I mean,
that's just in my opinion. Like, you should, just like a driver's license.
How would we regulate that though at all? Think about that.
Like,
you'd be like, oh, your IQ is under a certain number. Nah, you can't take your kid home.
well, okay. What about this though? Like, how about, okay, you're thinking about being a parent and it's like a course they provide in high school. Like, okay, you want to be a parent one day, then you should go through this training in high school. Like, teach them about like the importance of, you know, books, and teach them about the importance of knowing what foods to put in your kid's body, or the kind of activities to get them involved in that keep them out of trouble, or like those kinds of things. So you already know what the fuck time it is by the time you have it.
You're right, definitely, but...
Or, like, you take a test and get a D, and they're like, okay, now we take away your license because, like, you need to know this much to be able to be a parent and, like, produce an effective human being in society.
Then we're really molding society. You know, we would have to have not a perfect society, but a better, you know, like a better way of going about a lot of things.
So then we get to just drive a car, do you?
Yeah, I know.
You gotta have a license. You can kill someone.
For real.
You can kill someone with a rogue human baby that grows up thinking it's okay to take a fucking AK-47 into school and on his classmates. Like, I don't know, soundbite right there.
He's like, yeah, man, I don't know. He said, yeah, man, I don't know. The Pope.
What do you guys know about the Pope?
I didn't know much until earlier.
So Cassidy, my coworker, and I were like watching the Two Pope special on Netflix, and we learned a couple interesting facts about popes right then. First, I did not know that the popes come from a college of popes, or not
bishops,
college of bishops, the bishop college, and that they get elected like a president.
Like a president. Okay, so I figured there was a bunch of, I knew there was a bunch of bishops, and I figured. I didn't know there was going to be an election. I figured that they would like choose one, but like it's straight up an election, you know, like that's just like some funsies. It sounds like some funsies
to be the holiest, holiest of the holy
that God talks to, like literally that's what they say. Like God speaks to this nigga. But they elected him in, so like what? So any of you niggas could have been the one that God speaks to.
Exactly. And like, what are you doing in that college of popes? Just like reading Bible, reading scripture, studying your religion. Like, I wonder, do they study other religions? Do they study ancient religions? Like, what are they doing to like have all this knowledge and foresight and wisdom? Or is it just like a preset little mold that they just like, okay, you got the suit, you got the staff, you got the wizard hat, like, you're the Pope. Like,
so it's either really corrupted or there's something going on behind it, something that we really can't.
A little secret society.
Yeah, I mean, and we don't even have to get that, that into it like that. Like, it's just, there has to be, either it has to be secret or it has to be corrupted, it can't just be what it is at face value, because then they'd literally be remedial, like literally, it'd be like, damn, a whole group of millions of people that follow Christianity or Catholicism, follow an idiot, these people that don't understand the world at hand, they either do know what's going, they do study other religions, ancient religions, know a little bit more about history itself,
Masonry probably, because the Masons have been around since ancient Egypt forever, as well.
Like, Egypt, yeah, exactly.
And they were the ones that helped
proven, they probably
build societies.
Exactly.
Shouts out Snow.
Yeah, he says shout out Snow. But what were we saying? Fucking
talking about the Pope and how.
So it's either something secret or it's something corrupt. Because it has to be either one. Or he's retarded. So.
I honestly think it's the corrupt, because like, think about like, this is also what's in the Two Pope special. They were talking straight up about how 2011, this new British Pope got put into power. In 2015, the fucking little boy sex scandal shit started to come out. And like, it was reported that the Pope would just like move the priest that got these molestation reportings into a church far away and like not punish the person and not do anything. And it begs the question, like, celibacy, like, what is that really doing to have gorilla gonads like all day when you're walking around in your little priest turban or whatever the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you just have like fucking blue balls all damn day and all you're around is kids. Like, why is it holy to like protect someone that's doing the worst of crimes, but it's unholy to lay with a woman? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I don't get it.
So there has to be,
You gotta let these priests and these pastors get that pussy. Straight up.
I don't know, man. It's so deep and deeply rooted beyond. If it is secret like that, then there has to be a reason why it's a repetitive theme of little boys, first of all. You know, like, and then, because it's never really even like, it's sometimes little girls, but it's like mostly little boys, bro. Like,
maybe it's a power thing.
It's fucking weird.
Maybe it's a Jeffrey Epstein thing.
Yeah. I watched this like YouTube channel called The Fifth Estate. They kind of just cover random mysteries or like random just unsolved crimes or just random things. And they did one about sex scandals and the fucking priests and stuff like that. And this girl, bro, she was I guess she was sexually abused like as like a 13-year-old, 14-year-old girl. And she goes to these like the meetings where all these priests meet up and like all the bishops meet up, where they have all these like council meetings and stuff. And she goes to see if they're talking about all that stuff, and they never do. And like they know her, and they try to shun her from different parts of, like, they won't, like, sometimes they won't let her in, or like some hotels, like they'll tell them prehand not to let that chick stay there and stuff like that. It's like, well, all she's trying to do is get justice for bring it to light, literally, like that these things go on in the church. Yeah.
I guess though it's kind of like that thing that happens in our society where it's like, who you're gonna believe, like the person with all the belts and medals around their neck that the whole community loves, or the one person that's claiming something against them. Like, even if it really happened, like, the majority of people are probably gonna go for the person that has the belts and the medals and the community loves, rather than the person that is just making a claim. Hold up, I'm gonna change the battery out again.
For sure. Yeah, exactly, bro. So I don't know.
It's like that.
I don't know, but it's just like, you do build that rapport so you can be trusted, So, like, where do we really draw the line at that point? Because that's what reputation is all about, Or, like, you build that up and people trust you, you become, like, good in your community or whatever it is, you do to gain that reputation, and to have it attested by a person is just... It's like, damn, bro, like, can we decipher if that person's telling the truth, or like, or do we, no, we trust fucking Billy Bob because, he mows everyone's lawns on the weekends type shit.
Shit's crazy, man. I just don't understand. The part that I don't get about it the most is, why is it so hard to just call a spade, talk about what's really going on, get to the bottom of things, not lie to other people, and just live the way we talk about wanting to live? Isn't religion supposed to be peaceful, sacrifice to God, a righteous existence, and loving and spreading love? And a lot of religions don't focus on like loving yourself that much, but like, isn't the whole purpose to be like a great person and like do wonderful things for other people around? And isn't that like the one thing that the world is lacking, is people that are acting that way? Like,
maybe that's what religion really does. It makes us lack that self-fulfillment, or like, like you said, it's not about worshiping yourself, it's about worshiping the entity that drives you, pretty much. So like, if you take that power away from self, then that pretty much puts it in God's hands to like handle all these things that we don't really handle on a day-to-day basis, or like stuff like that, like what we're talking about. Why are things certain ways? Because we don't surface them at all times, you know, and make them prevalent and fucking excuse me.
You're good.
Just like make them prevalent and just like address them, you know, whenever they need to be addressed.
And keep them focused. Dude, you're right. Because when those people justify shit, they justify it as, I don't have the authority to question the will of God.
Yeah,
that's,
you know,
that's the excuse. I don't have the authority to question the will of the Creator. Damn, I think we'll just keep talking. I'm going to let it sit for like a few minutes because it's probably just hot. But yeah, and if you start every thought with, I'm not allowed to question the will of the way, then you're never going to intervene with shit that's going on in your life. You're just going to accept it and keep moving forward, that's a good thing. That's a good skill to have too. It's good to be able to like accept shit, realize that it's not all in your hands, and then move on without holding the burden of like that failure. Mm-hmm. But it's also good to be able to realize, nah, I played a little bit of a part in that, and this is what I can do. Hindsight 2020 to change that shit for the future. Like, if we're having tons of problems with little boys getting molested in Catholic churches, then we need to fucking change the way that the community operates. Like,
and Catholic churches in general, you know, like
exactly
and what goes down in that shit, and we have to be more open. And I feel like, the community should be more involved. And so it happens in one community. Why aren't we like looking at all of our Catholic churches to make sure they're good? You know, like just to make sure, just to give it a good check. You know, just to make sure things are popping the way they should be. Well, no one really cares like that. It's like,
but just like you were saying, like, how would we really go about? Like I was saying with the fucking parent thing, like every parent should have a test to prove that they're qualified to be a parent or not. But how do we just go into a church that no one's ever said anything about any of these priests and justify being able to like question them or question the children or like put something in place when nothing's even, you know what I mean? Like it kind of like crosses into that line like you were saying of like, are we violating someone's like rights?
That's very true. Yeah, very, very true. But if religion is fucking hindering us from
so progress,
then we have to take a closer look at it, you know?
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. And religion is just, like you said, I think it's supposed to be what you, like the things you listed earlier, you know? Like a lot of being good to other people and like being self-fulfilled or like, you know, like
serving.
Serving other people and stuff like that. But I think that literally the basis of it is that it's not what it seems, you know? Like I think it is just a big control scheme at the end of the day, no matter what the religion is, because I always try to say this to people. I might have said it before too on this podcast. We all know what we should and shouldn't be doing, you know, like it's embedded in us kind of like it's just like a thing where you're gonna feel guilty about something, you just know, but you don't make the conscious effort to do it. So like I know, like I said, I think in the first podcast, like I know that I can like become a famous rapper if I fucking wear my grills all day and like post all this crazy shit on Instagram and like do the formula, you know, like there's certain formulas I couldn't follow. But like it's just
pop shit about everybody that's not anywhere near you so that you can get all that internet like clout.
You know, just do these certain things, but I feel like that is what selling your soul really is. Like, because I don't think you can really sell your soul, like, physically take the spirit and give it to the devil for some money. You know, like, that doesn't even make any sense. But
maybe it does.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe it does if the science can prove it later on, yeah. But I think that you can literally sell your soul as in, like with your morals and stuff like that, and by not following the code of your being.
Yeah.
And people, that's just literally selling your soul right there. Like, you do it for the money, you know, you do it for the clout, you do it for anything but yourself. So.
Straight up. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So I guess religion can help, you know, if you take, like, the core beliefs from it and you use it, you apply it accordingly, but.
It's the beliefs, though.
Yeah,
it's the beliefs that matter, not the book that it comes in.
Mm-hmm.
It's the principles that matter, not the person that told it. Like, if you learn how to be kind from things that me and Kenny are saying, you shouldn't look to us like we're some deity that, like, if anyone says, fuck Matt and Kenny, you're like, no, I'll kill you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that people are like, nah, Muhammad told us the answers and I'll kill you if you fucking don't believe what Muhammad said. Or you don't fuck with Jesus, well, I don't fuck with you. Or you don't fuck with Adonai, then I don't fuck with you. You don't fuck with Jah, then I don't fuck with you. You don't fuck with Buddha, then I don't fuck with you. Like, what who matters who the messenger is as long as the message is correct? Like, why are we tripping? Like, we're getting so confused with the semantics of the sentence and not the message behind the meaning. Like, there's just so much wrong with that. Like, Naka and I were talking about this at work today, something that you told Naka about how words are spells and you cast spells out into the universe when you speak. Like, and how the word isn't what you're getting at, it's what the word represents. Well,
for sure.
What does it matter what word you're using as long as the symbol that you're trying to represent is the same? Like the word of God, the word of
whoever,
your
Krishna,
higher self, the word of whatever. As long as the word is representing the symbol, we're all trying to be better humans. As long as that's the end goal, then it shouldn't matter where it's coming from, ever.
I think that religion plays a part in corrupting that equilibrium, you know, like that whole us getting on the right path, because there are so many different paths to take that, you know, it all gets crossed up, forks get made, dead ends occur, just stuff like that, you know. It's just, if there was one common way for us to practice being good to each other and being good human beings and progressing, but then see, that's kind of being closed-minded to think that that's the only way to progress. Like, that's a good way for us. Like, we think that's cool, like, you know, peace and like prosperity, and like that does sound all good and well, but like there's people that don't think that's even that even matters at all, like type shit, you know. So like, where does that fall into the equation? Like, are those just evil people that don't matter, you know, or like?
Well, I think there are outliers, right? You know, there are people that are like not going to be a part of any sort of movement ever, and those people exist. But most people want to be a part of something, you know.
But what is that though? You know, like
errors in the code, a part of a new code that hasn't yet to manifest,
for something like that, you know, or is it like part of us as the collective to try to bring them in or try to understand where they're coming from, you know? Like, it's just like there's a lot of factors.
You're talking about like people like school shooters or like those
outliers?
Like
crazy evil, like, or what we consider like crazy evil type people, as opposed to us, you know, people that can understand why things are, or like at least try to understand why things are,
accept that we don't have all the answers yet,
and then try to come into the realm, like we were talking about, of someone that's like a school shooter or someone that's been a gangster their whole life and is in prison life for life and stuff like that, and try to understand why they think a certain way, and like if our way of thinking would even benefit their being at all.
Of course.
You know, because I feel like it would, obviously. We feel like it would, but like to convince them is a whole journey in itself, or like, you know, a whole path in itself, because you have to convince someone something that they don't even have concept of.
Yeah, it's like drawing a circle and all that there are in the paper is dots. Like, dots can't see circles and lines can't see cubes. You have to like have that experience that shows you that there's something else out there to even want or think in your mind that you might need a new answer. The teacher comes when the student is ready. Like,
when yoga is right.
Something like that. And you're talking about like school shooters and gangbangers and people on the jihad that want to like bomb Americans, even though that's a very few and far between group of Muslim people. That is not what Islam is about at all. But all those types of people have to come to some sort of like justification in their mind that they think this is the only answer and the last answer. And it's the reason why they're so confident that they're willing to take their life at the end of it, or lose their life for it, you know, because it's the answer to them.
Exactly.
And somehow or another, I don't want to say crazy, because not every single one of those types of people we mentioned is crazy. Like, gangbangers aren't necessarily crazy.
Yeah, it's a product of environment type shit.
But that amount of belief and duty, or people that are willing to lose their life in a war, like that amount of knowing, of selflessness, is a part of the key to some, like you were saying, it's a part of the answer. Like, having that level of like being down for what you believe in, like most people don't have that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is a part of the ingredient that a lot of people are missing. It's part of what Russ talks about with the whole delusion, like being so invested in your star that it just grows into a supernova and like boom, expands throughout the universe. Like there's, like you said, there's parts of the truth in everything.
That's what Jesse just started again. He wants to start like this little mini series he was talking to me about. I don't want to like spoil it or anything, but basically the basis is like, if you ever talk to like a homeless person or like, you know, someone that's on the streets or anything, you kind of learn a certain type of knowledge from them that you wouldn't have learned from anybody, you know, like from any book that you could ever read or anything like that, because they have like a certain street knowledge that they've literally experienced, and they've only had that experience, you know, and you just have a little conversation with them. They teach you about, like, if they're a graffiti artist or something, you know, like there's a war in these streets, you know, like it's us versus the cops is what Jesse was telling me, like, but like you would never think about it like that, you know, like you don't think that the artists, or there's a war between like cops and graffiti artists, but that's how the graffiti artists think about it, like, you know, like they're out here like, nah, this is my wall, this is not, another nigga coming on, it's my wall, you know, and the cops are like, no, this is the government's wall, you know, and they've like, so it is really a war, because like it is just fucking material, you know, so
it's fucking wild.
And but those niggas could be looked at as crazy or whatever, but they do hold gems to, you know, like all these little pieces that you could put together to form a master blueprint.
Graph is like, I remember when Esteban, shouts out Esteban, we were homies way back in the day. Esteban Rivas, Stucky Juan.
Mm-hmm.
Those fools taught me what it was with graph. Like, it's for the person that's voiceless to like be seen. You know, like you write your name, you do your piece because someone's gonna see that shit and you matter. Like when you hit up that crazy spot that no one could dare like climb up and get to.
For real,
leave,
dude.
Like a dope ass like throw up or burner or fucking wild style or any of that shit, like someone's gonna see that and they're gonna be like, and especially if they're a graph head, they're gonna be like, damn, you know, like who the fuck did that shit? So it's like a way for the people in the graffiti community to like like get seen. Like I know, like when I never was super deep into the graph culture. Like I got to touch the surface and I did some pieces on some walls. I did some tags on some walls and I wrote up certain places, and I never got caught up for it, and I'm lucky that I never did. But for me, I was like, damn, someone's gonna see this shit, and it mattered to me. Someone's gonna like drive past this, and you know, an old person might be like, fuck that person for writing that piece, or another graph would be like, damn, he hit that line super clean, or like whatever. But at least someone was gonna see it, and that's crazy. But like that was my method for my madness, or like why I wanted to do that shit.
And that's just another secret, you know, another secret to the universe that you learn from doing something like that, you know, like little things really do matter because you want them to be seen on a larger scale, no matter what it is, you know. It could just be a little line you draw on a piece of paper, but
straight up
hindsight. Whoo.
2020. Damn, what time are we at? We got 4 more minutes. We could is there any last cool topics that we could hit?
Not that I can come off the top of my head. I don't know, you got anything to add on to any of the things we've been talking about? Shit, life's a trip, bro. That's all I can say, man. That's just...
I really do want to see Jesse come with that fucking series, though.
Yeah,
we were talking about that in the kitchen the other day. He was saying he wanted to get on his consistent like video output like us with the podcast. I was like, yeah, that It's Not Such channel. Like we can all post on it. We should all have our gig. I was like, we have Thursdays. Why don't you start something every Monday? You dish it out every Monday, and the fans like expect that shit. And then pretty soon there'll be around the clock Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, exactly. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where someone from Tuss is putting something out on the channel that someone's expecting. And
that's why I like follow YouTube channels and shit, you know? I be fucking waiting for them to drop a video every day. If they don't, I'm like, damn, bro, you know, like I missed out. Are these niggas didn't drop a video this day? Like, what the fuck? I be watching weird shit on YouTube too, so I get lost on YouTube, man.
I try not to go down the rabbit hole, but remember we were talking about that ant war thing that was popping up on your phone, where like the ants were having a war, and like, they were like they were trying to take the queen bee's legs off her wings off. The queen ant, yeah. That shit popped up on my phone the other day. And I never went and looked for it, but maybe because we talked about it, Google heard that shit, because I'm going to go watch that shit now.
That's how it is, dude. We were talking about, what the fuck, Silence of the Lambs? Oh, I said Hannibal Lecter, bro, and then, like, on my thing, unless suggested it was, like, Silence of the Lambs, like, the movie, and I was like, oh, my goodness.
Got microphones everywhere.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I have not.
Oh, you should definitely check it out. It's pretty crazy.
It's Hannibal Lecter eats faces, right?
Well, yeah, he's a Hannibal the Cannibal. Yeah, he's fucking crazy, but you just gotta watch it.
He's the Pope in the Two Popes thing that just came out on Netflix.
What? Oh, that dude?
He's the Pope. That dude. Isn't that crazy?
Maybe. He's the Pope. That all came around, right? That circled around real quick. Fuck.
Oh, but like back to, okay, this is what I want to close with. How do we know that Prince Andrew, Jeffrey Epstein, priests in the fucking Catholic Church, how do we know that all that shit is not integrated?
It is. I mean, we can't prove it, or like we can prove it with news headlines, you know, if you just look at the news headlines, but it's one of those things that's like an unspoken thing that if it literally isn't said that these niggas are best friends, like in a news tabloid or something like that, then it's conspiracy, or like it's just up in the air type shit, you know, because if it's unspoken, then it doesn't exist. That's like that's pretty much how they like. I feel like how these niggas be operating, like, because if you just don't make it a big headline, then it really can't be proven.
I feel that Alex Jones is trying to expose y'all. Alex Jones of Infowars is trying to make it known that there are pedophilic people in the governments of all of our nations. And I don't know too much about none of that, but I think that all that of that could be something we could talk about next time. Sketch. About Alex Jones?
Or like, or something like that. Something to do with just secrecy in the government, or, you know, secrecy in those secret societies and higher up.
YouTube's watching. Yeah. YouTube's trying to... Dude, YouTube wants us to, like... Now on every video, we have to check if it's, like, material that kids can view or not, because they, like, have this new child privacy or, like, certain laws. So they're definitely about to start coming down on creators a lot heavier for the type of shit that they're putting out.
YouTube doesn't even need hindsight. They got a real time site. They don't even need to look back. They can just tell you on the spot if you fucking are getting demonetized or not. Shit, dude.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's scary.
Dude, okay. So, followers, lovely fans of the Hindsight 2020 podcast, we are trying to get to 10,000 followers by the end of 2020. So, share this shit with the people that you care about, please, because we're going to keep reminding you, 10,000 fans.
Even if you don't like us, then put why you don't like us. But I don't think you don't like us.
Because, in all honesty, if you, like, talked about what you didn't like and we had an opportunity to, like, express to you why we said what we said, and then we could probably come to an understanding, and then you might be our fan, and you don't want that. That's why you're hating. That's why you're hating on us in the first place.
Fam don't want to be fan.
Straight up. But yeah, you want to close it out?
It's all love. What I say last time, don't regret anything that you know, think about your week, think about your day, think about your month. Don't regret anything. Just try to learn from what you think about.
Yeah. Hindsight 2020. We'll see you next time.